Okay, I'm going to remove this screw and this screw here, and this screw here. I'm also going to remove that screw and that screw in order to take off this air motor. If you can look, you'll see that these point that way and that this is hooked like so. Now this guy is loose. This joint right here. This screw is loose right here. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way or not. A little nozzle here. And it looks like this board attaches screw, 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 screw. And then there's a bunch of stuff underneath here. This is spring loaded. So you can see that this little wire here is held on with a screw, and that loops through this little eyelet right here. Like that. And then looks like each bellows here, those are all not exactly equidistant, so looks like this gap is a little bit wider than this gap. This one looks to be a little crooked. It's thinner up here than it is down here. We'll get measurements. Some of these are really quite loose. so there may be some repair needed down at the bottom here. These are attached with 2 screws, and then it looks like there's a little nail that goes through here. It's got a little felt bushing in there. And then this wooden piece comes up to the shaft and spins. Now, one other thing to notice is that whenever this thing spins, these little slides move up and down. So something's going on in there as well. I see a little brass plate with some screws, and here you can see that this bellows is all messed up. Alright, here is this whole business that's going on. This thing comes up, and I don't really know why. I'm not sure what this piece is for yet. Maybe this wire is supposed to go back up behind here? I don't know, but there's a little hook here. It looks like that wire may be supposed to go through that. This little hook. Is going to be to remove this back plate right here. Okay, I got this board off. Looks like this on one side. This is the outside, rounded. Got those 4 screws to come off of it. And here's what it looks like in here. So as these go down, these go up like this. And it continues thusly, letting some air in. These are little slide filters. Numbered these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I've taken off number 1, and it's got a little felt slide on the side. On the inside it goes on like this, and there's a little felt slide here on the inside. Let me see if I can get the camera to hold still here. Okay. Now I have numbered these, as you can see, 4, 5, and just to give you a little reference before I remove these panels, there's about the 1/16 of an inch of play, maybe a little bit more, maybe an 1/8 of an inch of play, probably a 1/16 in each one of these guys. These measure about 1 7/16 by 2 and 11/30 seconds. 2 and 11/30 seconds. Give or take. They're all slightly different in size. Alright, this tiny little guy here was glued on top of the fabric, which, as I took the screw out, I had to peel it off of here. So I'm going to go ahead and replace all of this fabric, so I'm going to just disassemble these now. Okay, I've got those front plates removed. Now I've come down here and removed 3 screws from this little brass plate under here, from this guy. And now I'm going to remove it. Removing this belt tensioner now. The screw on this guy is not very tight at all. Over tightening the screw will make the tensioner not work appropriately, it seems. The belt tensioner is removed, and I'm removing this little eyelet here from the side of the first pneumatic, pneumatic number 1, and it'll be stored with the belt tensioner mechanism. Okay, the brass rod has been removed. Upon removing it, it doesn't look like brass. It looks more like maybe steel that's been shellacked on one side. The purpose of this rod, of this bar here, is not entirely clear. It appears to have been sealed in place, so maybe its purpose was to make this airtight, although that is not clear. So these 3 screws in this middle bar have been removed. Move this piece right here. Okay, this piece came off very easily. You can see both sides. Needs to be cleaned. This is the bottom of each of the bellows, or the pneumatics, that power this motor. Before I remove this piece, keep in mind that the nozzle points towards the bottom of the pneumatics. So if the slides are up top, then the nozzle points down and towards the bottom, the hinge of the pneumatics. Okay, this piece is removed, and it looks like the gasket that was underneath it has been badly, has badly deteriorated, so a new one will be needed. But you can also see that it wasn't exactly on center, so the hole here is very much bigger than the hole for this gasket. So I wonder if this gasket hasn't been replaced at some point and a new air path made to accommodate it. Looks like that may have happened. Okay, I've turned it over so that the tops of the bellows are facing me, and I have removed all of these screws from the tops of the bellows, and I'm ready to remove the camshaft and associated hooks, etc., and all of this stuff. I have numbered these guys accordingly to line up with the slides that were taken out and numbered, 4 and 5. Okay, this piece is removed from where it was, which was right under there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. You can see those guys. And you can see how this is laid out. Hopefully it will not be hard to put back together. Right. Bellows number 1 has come off. There's a gasket around here. Looks like it might be leather of some kind. And this was in fact glued to the leather only. The rest to come off now. Okay. Got those guys removed. He's upside down. Lots of these guys have holes in them, so you can see holes in there, little rips. that make them where they don't keep their suction, can't keep their vacuum. So, all right, the wind motor is fully and completely disassembled. How to begin restoring.